What do you nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's book nerdigan discussion is Endless by Jessica Shirvington. This is the fourth book in the Violet Eden series, and look how beautiful that cover is. That is Violet looking badass and sexy with her in her Gregory wear. Yes, she wears this shit. And if you have not read Embrace, Entice, Emblaze, or Endless, or have watched any of my hashtag book nerdigan discussion videos on any of these books, then what the commie and Arceus are you doing here? Go read the books, go watch the videos, and then come back so we can talk about it, because as I've mentioned, none of my friends read these books, so this is the only way I can talk about them. And also, as I've mentioned in all my videos, Endless is part of, as well as the rest of the Violet Eden series, is part of my hashtag AngelReadAthon. So this one is, Endless is a little bit different. It starts out a little bit different. There is no prologue. This goes right into where we started off. So at the end of Emblaze, Evelyn is back in the apartment, and she says hello, James, because Violet's dad came in. And first thing she does is knocks him out. Yeah, she knocks him out, and I love it. And now he's unconscious. And Violet's just like, did you have to really knock him out? And Evelyn's like, well, now we can talk and figure out what we're gonna do. And I'm just like, oh my god. Violet's just annoyed as hell. She like, her initial thought is Evelyn's been in heaven this entire time, and she's taken her away from paradise. So why the fuck? And she left them. So why the fuck should she? And gave her this punishment. She feels like she's punished by Evelyn with this burden. So, and it was interesting. When Evelyn and Violet told James about being Gregory together, Violet's dad, and Violet, seriously, Violet, come on, you don't have to say that Evelyn's lying. She might be telling the truth. Have you ever thought about that? And Dad isn't swooning, and like the thing is Violet's dad isn't swooning right away for Evelyn. He's taking his time. And I think it's sweet. And like one of the sweet moments I have to say is that Evelyn actually just said everything that happened on their first date. And then she, like, one of the questions he asked her, like, what underwear was he wearing during, like, on the night of his wedding. And it was so funny. And like the other thing was that I thought it was sweet that that they had breakfast every day together except for the morning of their wedding, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, that's love. And we find out that Evelyn is almost 200 years old, and she's about 200 years old, and technically she died at 187 years old. Well, her physical body did. And Lincoln, oh my god, this was so awkward, because remember, Violet told her dad everything, including that she embraced for Lincoln. And boy, was he not happy. So Lincoln came over and talked to her dad about Violet embracing for him. Holy shit, it was awkward. But Violet, I have to give props for Violet for standing her ground. And I don't blame, like, would have no regrets either. And that's not just for Lincoln being hot. It's just, I wouldn't have any regrets. And I think it's sweet that Evelyn is, her dad and Evelyn are falling in love all over again. And I think it's sweet, and you got to respect that. Violet's dad is sleeping on the couch, and Evelyn is sleeping in her bed, in the master bedroom. And there's no news. Yeah, as I mentioned, he knows everything now. Oh yeah, and there's no news from the Academy. It's as if Phoenix and Lilith have disappeared off the Earth. And Violet meets up with Steph, and they go at Hades to get ready for the dance. Oh God, this is so funny. So they're going to the oh, and Steph oh yeah, and Dapper gets I love Dapper's reasoning that Dapper gets more satisfaction that Steph and Violet's presence annoys Onyx. I just thought that was funny. That's the only reason I'm mentioning that. And so basically they're going to the dance as a group. So you got Steph and Sal and Zoe, who's going after Jace. And I was like thinking, thank God she's going after Jace. Because Jace wants Violet. And Spence and Violet and Jace. So, wow. So Onyx is awesome. So Onyx is tracking down old exiles on chat websites. So, like, who knew exiles use the internet for one thing? And who knew that exiles use chat rooms? I have to say that. And he's found out that through the threads that Phoenix and Lilith have, I'm sorry, there's an ambulance siren, have been getting around Europe and the east coast of America, which means they have a plan, aka this isn't good. So, and tonight is the night that Steph and Sal are going all the way. Yes, they are. Steph and Sal are going all the way. They're that much in love, and Steph and Sal, I love them. They're so cute together. And oh man, I love it. Lincoln is so jealous and so mad, and oh my god. And then Kami is Spence dragged Jace to go get drinks, to go get shots. And seriously, quit shutting down. Like, you're being an asshole. Just go, let them go have fun. Seriously. And so like they're at the dance, and Violet's already, Violet's drunk and shit. And Violet goes outside because she's had, she wanted air. Oh, and I love that she mentioned to Lincoln that she was gonna salsa and shit, and I thought that was cute. But I love that Lincoln came after all, and he's dressed in a sexy suit, of course, and Violet's all drunk too. And I'm like thinking, yummy, Violet. If I were Violet and I was drunk and in a sexy dress, I would be all over that. I would be all over Lincoln. I'm sorry, I just would. And why Lincoln's here? Like, she asked him, why is Lincoln here? And seriously, just ignore the slurring in Violet's voice. She's kind of drunk. And I love what he says. I love what he says. He says, to keep Jace's hand, basically Jace is off of you. And I love this part. I was just like, oh. I was like, take me now when he said this. Too, the last time I let you walk out of a room without telling you how beautiful you looked, I ended up fishing you out of a volcano, and you left before I could tell you that you looked stunning. And 3, if you're going to have fun and salsa with anyone, it better be me. I was like, I heart Lincoln. Just take me now. And oh my God, when Jace came out, I loved what Lincoln said to Jace. I was like, okay, I'm gonna surrender any second. And men, this is what I'm talking about, and this is what you need to do to get you to claim your woman. I love it. Allow me to rectify. If you look at her that way again, that way you do, I just thought of that thing you do, I will be very upset. If you touch her in any way that you haven't been first invited to, and, well, even then I won't be responsible for my actions. Violet and I may not be together, but make no mistake, she is mine just as much as I am hers. And Violet's like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm thinking, men, this is what I mean, men. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you need to do to get the woman. And I'm thinking, I surrender. And fucking Griff, you had to ruin everything. Like, because Griff called at that moment just as they were going to dance. I was like, fuck. And then they're in the car. And I love that this part was like a huge troll tease. And Violet's like, and where did you exactly, Violet's like, and where exactly did you see tonight finishing up? And Lincoln's like, with you on your back after collapsing from too much salsa. And I was like thinking, hacks! Like, that was such a troll. And apparently, Lincoln is wearing Onyx's Ralph Lauren suit, so Onyx had a hand in this. And apparently Onyx is apparently Steph's shopping partner since Violet is busy training. So yeah, Onyx is either gay or at least metro, and Lincoln said he had no time to change, and Onyx offered, and there was work to be done. I love Onyx. Like, now you guys understand why Onyx is like one of the best side characters ever. Onyx. So basically, at the apartment, Griffin informs Evelyn, and this is back at Violet's apartment, that the Academy wants her to be debriefed and Violet to be evaluated, and also that Lilith has returned home, well, according to Evelyn. And apparently Lilith took a shine in New York, and Manhattan is, in particular, is home to tons of exiles. And I love it. I love what Evelyn does next. She broke the vase, the last vase that she made before she died, and her Gregory dagger was still there. And usually they disappear when someone dies, so this isn't normal. And Violet's Gregory dagger actually returned 3 days later by her bedside table after going down a volcano. So yeah, they're not normal. And Evelyn entrusts her weapons and wristbands to Griffin, and then explains how she returned Lilith, and that is her purpose for coming back. So basically, this is from Evelyn's point of view. So Lilith was created first, and she is more powerful for it. A Gregory blade made by lesser angels will have no impact on her, and even those weapons of higher-ranking angels will not be able to kill her. My partner, Jonathan, and I spent more than half a century tracking down old myths and forgotten tales about a substance that could harm an exile in human form. The potion dated back to ancient Egypt and seemed to be extinct. We found imitations, but learned the only chance of locating the real thing was dating back to the time when angels were permitted to on the earth, the time before the flood, and trying to find an untapped source. We needed the potion, a type of poison in the Gregory blade, if we were going to have any chance of incapacitating Lilith. And the potion itself had 13 ingredients. 12 were earthbound, however, the 13th was from the angel realm. And, well, Lilith and Jonathan actually found one small vial in King Tut's tomb in 1922. Yeah, that I know that rhymed. And some pharaohs believed this potion eliminated evil spirits and would elevate them to angelhood after death. So basically, like a breath. Yeah, they called it the first breath of the afterlife. So, and the potion was called Quarot. I probably am butchering the name. It's Qorot, or Caris, like the perfume, as Steph said. And it was both an angelic weapon, and when treated with potion, way to elevate sacred tabernacles, to become more powerful than anything in the human world. And Steph has a strong feeling Dapper might have an idea to get the ingredients and make the potion. So awkward meeting time with the parents again. And I love the entrance, including Dapper busting Spence and threatening his sorry ass to never steal his booze again, or he's going to go to the cops. And I love that Onyx is loving life now. He's just laughing and just loving it. So, and Onyx is actually giving information, giving information without some sort of bribe. And I love what Dapper says. He's like, is it so impossible to admit that you simply wanted to help? Like, they are the best couple ever. And Dapper on the potion, and he says, I believe I have a book that can help you with the first 12 ingredients, and I have a suspicion the 13th ingredient dates back to the Garden of Eden. And there are stories about a poison either in the serpent's bite or within the apple, depending on which version you want to believe. But something in the garden changed humans from being indestructible as angels to the mortals we are now. So basically, Phoenix was born before the apple, so that's why Phoenix is different. And plus, he was conceived, and he was conceived by Adam and Lilith as well. But Dapper, now we're gonna find out from Dapper who Dapper is. So Dapper is a little bit different. So Dapper is human, and he is a descendant of the first patriarchs. And I love that he's like because Evelyn and Griffin are shocked because they're like, we thought you guys died in the flood. And Dapper's like, not my fault you couldn't find us. And basically, he's a direct descendant of Adam and Eve, the bloodline that flowed all the way down to Noah. And they had certain qualities, including lifespans that stretched to almost 1,000 years, but they were all thought to have been wiped out by the flood. And after the flood, this is more about Dapper, the bloodline continued in secret, and this is from Dapper's point of view. Our family tree is extensive, and our role has remained the same, collectors and scribes of knowledge. Our lives are extended in order that we can provide as much service as possible. Our purpose to remain in the background. We never take sides and only document events. And Dapper actually explained why the Library of Alexandria was destroyed. The real reason. Not what history says, but the real reason. So the truth is that the patriarchs lost faith in the human world. And humans can no longer be trusted with to keep this knowledge, and in particular, items of power and sacred. At the time of each of these events, patriarchs used the distractions to remove the scrolls, starting with the most important and ending with the least. Over time, they converted them into books and translated them whenever possible, the previous translations destroyed afterwards. And there's only ever one version of text in existence. And patriarchs are very interesting people, and knowledge is power. The more you know. And Onyx is like, I've been around a long time. And Dapper's like, I just told him last week. I love him. And what Dapper, and this is Dapper continued about his family. So descendants of the bloodline spend a minimum of 100 years in service protecting the knowledge. And I did my stint beneath the ground, living with 3 others of my line, guarding one of the prime knowledge wells in Egypt. It gave me plenty of reading time. The well was discovered and destroyed. We saved what we could and decided it would be better to separate and divide what remained. Over the years, I returned most of the books to those more devoted to the cause than ever I was. But let's just say everyone likes to be prepared for a rainy day. Yeah, Dapper is like a prepared book nerdican. Yeah, and Dapper chanted in. So what happens next is Dapper goes in the living room and Dapper chanted in ancient Gaelic, and yeah, there's a secret passageway in Dapper's living room mantelpiece, which is pretty awesome. And I love what Spence said. First, Zoe's like, open sesame. And I love Spence. He's like, I'm still waiting for a troll to jump out and ask for the secret password. And then that Griffin smacks Spence in the head for that one. Ah, Spence. He's awesome. And then Dapper said, as like, this is awesome. My oath is now your oath. If any of you betray it, you would be betraying me, and my people will come in strength of numbers that would surprise you to slay you. It wouldn't be right if I didn't warn you. Yeah, I don't think you want to fuck with the patriarchs, the first patriarchs. And yeah, this will be a night of fun, all right, Lincoln. I love what it was. Honey. What Violet says, honey, spice, and all things dangerous and nice. That sounds really hot, and I will just take that. Because, yeah. So Link drove Violet home, and Violet and her dad home. And so basically, now that Evelyn's come back, Violet's dad and Caroline are done. And as a result, Caroline resigned, and Dad and Violet overheard what Griffin and Evelyn said, because Griffin and Evelyn went home in a different car. And Evelyn's deal is that Violet be partnered with the Gregory, who came from now we know what Evelyn's part of the deal is, because remember in Blaze we found out what Lochmet's part of the deal was. Now we get to hear Evelyn's part of the deal. That Violet be partnered with the Gregory, who came from a power, and that if Lilith returns in Violet's lifetime, that I return with her. So basically, since Evelyn's life force was tied with Lilith, she was in the pits of hell for 17 years. And, like, Evelyn's, like, or not Evelyn, Violet's in fucking disbelief, and she's, like, saying that Evelyn's lying and shit, and her dad just slapped Violet across the face. And like like dad, like her dad is just not buying this shit, and and Violet's just like totally done. It didn't hurt her, the slap, but she just felt so betrayed, and she packed a bag and just went with Griffin because she didn't want to deal with this shit. And on the way to Lincoln, she tells Griffin to tell the academy that she won't go unless her dad can escort Evelyn, because her dad's not, her dad is not going to go without her dad is gonna want to go with Evelyn. No way in fucking hell. He's not gonna go. He's not gonna let Evelyn go again. He loves her that much. You could tell. And I thought this was really sweet. So, Lincoln was watching movies with her, with Violet, because remember Lincoln said in the last book, and in Blaze, that Violet always has a home with him, and it's really sweet. So she fell asleep in Link's arms, and damn it, Phoenix has to dreamscape. And he's saying that he has to talk to her, and Violet's like, just get the fuck out. I can't deal with you. And she woke up and finished painting the wall. Remember the wall in Embrace that she was painting, or that she promised Lincoln, or that Lincoln promised that she could paint, and started painting White Lily in, I think it was in Tice. She finally finished painting it. And she said to Lincoln, when it's all over, that Lincoln can look at it and look at what she painted. And so Dapper said he was able to translate the book from Armiac. Could have used Steph's help, but there was no way in hell Dapper was going to get involved with that. I wouldn't get involved with Steph losing her virginity to Sal. No way in Kami and Arceus would you get involved with that. And so far they were able to translate the frankincense, the myrrh, the cedar, the oil, the blue lotus, and which are all flowers and herbs native to Egypt. And Onyx says Dapper is in a pissy mood because he has to go home and get his hands on the ingredients. Most will be found in Egypt, along the Nile to be exact. And they can't order it off the internet. Because Dapper's like being all pissy about it. He was saying that it has to come from the earth. So yeah, they can't order off the internet. And Steph will be making the trip with Onyx and Dapper. And I love what Dapper said, because Violet has to go to New York. And I love what Dapper said. Dapper speaks for Onyx, and yes, they are totally a couple at this point. And as long as they go to Steph's graduation and throw confetti first, because remember, Steph is valedictorian, and Violet has to miss her graduation, which really sucks. So, and yep, Steph lost her virginity, and Sal's going on the trip with going on the trip with Steph too, to protect her. And I love it. Onyx in his asshole way and almost getting himself killed with the pent-up sexual frustration comment is helping Violet, because he wants to prove I love what Onyx is doing, because Onyx in his own asshole way throughout this series is helping Violet. And with what he did here, because Violet was seeing red when she beat the fuck out of him. And that was because he was trying to show her that she wasn't strong enough to face Phoenix yet, because Phoenix can still control her emotions. So I thought that was awesome. And and Phoenix knows they are coming via text messages to Violet. And I'm thinking, holy Kami and Arceus. Seriously, can we keep this Lincoln? I loved what Lincoln said to her dad. It was awesome. This is amazing. So, because they're on the plane. He said, it's bad enough that you've barely been there for her since she was born. Bad enough that she had to endure things no one should ever have to endure. But to hit your own daughter is unacceptable. And when we get back to from New York, she's staying with me until she says otherwise. Okay. I surrender again. Like, seriously, where's a Gregory, hot blonde Gregory named Lincoln when you need him? Like, I will just go, please, Lincoln, just take me. Please. I want a hot Gregory named Lincoln. A hot blonde Gregory named Lincoln. Or someone like him. That's what I want. And, oh yeah, so Violet actually talks to Evelyn, and she confirms that Evelyn knows who Lockmet is, but she won't tell, and also that Lilith wants to kill both of them, and that Evelyn was in hell for 17 years. And Evelyn also says the power of sight is not something humans have ever had before because it's the power of non-corporeal, and sight is the power of angels. So Evelyn believes that Violet has the ability to actually exalt to become an angel, which is really unusual. And because usually what happens is it's usually the other way around. It's usually angels become exiles. So Violet's like the only Gregory that can exalt, do the opposite, where she can exalt and become an angel. That's what Evelyn believes. And Evelyn explains why she was printing and cutting out articles, because yeah, Evelyn was taking control of Violet's laptop too. They were all tragedies of young kids being taken, presumed dead, and the bodies were never recovered. And Lilith has, as you remember from Embrace, Lilith has always been the bringer of death among children, and Lilith is obviously using the Gregory scripture. These are the kids that are destined to become Gregory, and Lilith is the definition insanity and creates madness, which is true. That's what Lilith is, and yeah, as soon as Violet gets into New York, she has the overload of the senses. But yeah, that's because New York is full of exiles. But because the academy takes up multiple buildings in New York, there's no sense overload there. And plus, you have the shields too. So, and I love it when they get in there. Josephine's like, first thing for Spence, she's like Spence, discipline. And then you're going back to training, and Spence is like, well, I graduated high school, so no classes for me. And she's like, yeah, you're going to go to training, though. He's like, okay. And that's what Spence wanted anyway. And Violet's going to room with Zoe, so Zoe went to go do that. And Dad goes to the cells with Evelyn after slamming Josephine in the style she deserved it. Like, seriously, Josephine has to be one of the dumbest, one of the most fucked up bitches ever, because she's insulting humans, and like, I don't understand why a Gregory would insult a human when part of your duty as a Gregory is you're swearing to protect humans. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of like an oxymoron. So anyway, so Violet, Griffin, and Lincoln go to the assembly with Josephine, and Drenson is the face of the assembly, and you have his partner Adele. And then you have Seth and Decima, the oldest and most religious members of the council. I think, just remember Kazim and his partner. Oh my god, I can't remember her name right now. Oh my god, it's gonna bug me. Just hold on a second. I have to double check what her name is. Oh my god, what's the name? What's the name? What the fuck? What's the name? What the fuck? What's the name? Sorry. Oh, Azim and Arima. Yes, that's her name. Arima. Yeah. Azim and Arima. That's what they're like. Okay, and then you have Hakan and Valerie, who also run the training academy, and Wilhelm and Rainer. And Nyla is Rainer's non-identical twin sister. And until Drenson's, oh my god, this was so cruel when, because Drenson is kind of like Rudy, where he is gauging, he wants to gauge Violet's power, but like this was really cruel. So they wanted until Drenson was able to gauge Violet's power. Seth was beating the living hell out of Lincoln. And they couldn't, because Violet had her shields up, because Griffin didn't want them to know that Violet is of the soul yet. And they couldn't get what they wanted out of her. So Violet left with a busted hand, because he broke her hand, because Drenson was squeezing so hard. And Lincoln was left beaten to a bloody pulp, and Griffin carried him, and Violet agreed to test in 3 weeks in front of the assembly. And I thought this was cool. So, like, what they have, because they obviously have the academy has 5 buildings. So what they have is they have these glamored walkways. So it looks like you're walking on air, and no one can see it except for after you know it's there. Then you'll be able to see it. And Violet healed Lincoln, then kissed to heal Lincoln, and damn it, like seriously, why? Well, she was healing Lincoln, and then to fix the dislocated shoulder to distract him, to pop it back in, she kissed him. And seriously, why? Why did you stop? It was getting so good. And then seriously, and it's nice to know that Link has only had a couple of girlfriends and one that has only lasted 2 years, and it was just better off as friends. But I love this. Ever since Violet came into his life, no other girls appealed to him. It's like, oh, Lincoln. And Phoenix tried to dreamscape again via Hades in Hades, but there was some form of shield around Violet this time, so it's like she could control it. And see, like the thing is healing and being together makes you stronger. Like this is why it should happen more often. Seriously, like because Violet said she was feeling, Violet and Lincoln were feeling refreshed and rejuvenated after they were together. So it's like that. Seriously, why the fuck are you not together? But so anyway, so Zoe is giving Violet the tour. So there's 5 total buildings, as I said. There's Command, where all the training and the official assembly rooms are located. Building B and C, where the rooms and accommodations are. Building A, which is fitted with gyms and recreational area, massive food hall, and cafeteria. Okay, I would be in probably Building A a lot. And Building D for academy classes, where all the new Gregory were restricted to when they first started training. Yeah, I think we all think that Josephine was trying to get Violet there. I did. I want to know if you guys did too. So the skywalk is made out of reinforced glass, and basically Valerie and Hakan have kept it under a very strong glamour. So yeah, there's a strict no-fly zone, so you don't have to worry about airplanes, and the glamour repels birds. So when you look up at the glamour, so when it rains, you look up at the glamour, and it just mirrors the image from above the walkway. So when it rains, that's all people see. And for Spets's punishment, he has to trade Zoe, and Zoe had like this evil look on her face, and she's like, I'm gonna go kick Spets' ass. And Miles like, oh fuck, poor Spets. Oh, Spets. But I love it. So Violet overhears Joseph. Oh my God, Josephine was saying to Lincoln that he could be the first power to ever be on the assembly, but his connection with Violet is clouding his judgment. It's like, seriously, that bitch. Like, and I'm curious, actually, why was a power never on the assembly before? And I'm also curious to know what powers or what angels the other members of the assembly come from too. I'm just curious. And that Lincoln is actually putting Violet over his duties to the assembly, and that she is not one of us, and that he should file an application for a partner replacement. And like Violet's getting pissed, and like Lincoln can sense Violet, and he's comforting her with his powers, and I'm like, oh. See, I love Lincoln. Lincoln is awesome, and I love when Lincoln. This is so great. He's like I will take it under advisement with a non-committal laugh. And Josephine's like, why am I sure you won't? And Lincoln says, because she is my partner. Shall I bring her in now? And like Violet, I'm with Violet on this one. Score 1 for us. I loved it. So basically, Josephine told Violet, like Spence, that she would be training effective immediately and not taking any classes, with the exception of some theory classes to catch up on Gregory history. Like, seriously, like, Josephine thinks this is torture. Like, who wouldn't want to learn about Gregory history? Like, I want to learn about Gregory history. Seriously. And the thing that does suck, though, is Violet is academy bound for 3 weeks until Violet's formal testing is over, and also had to choose an in-house senior Gregory as her mentor to prepare her, and they had to be nominated by the end of the next day. So in regards to Violet's parents and visiting, they are in a holding cell in the lower level below Josephine's office, and they will remain in full quarantine until Evelyn has been through a full debriefing. And however, as per Violet's stipulations, Josephine will arrange Violet to have access to him in due course, all supervised. And seriously, what the Kami and Arcee is, like, what happened to focusing on stopping Lilith? That's all Evelyn wanted to do. See, and there's a character development alert. Because remember, in the beginning, Violet couldn't stand Evelyn, and now, like, Violet understands Evelyn and, like, what she wants to do. So I love when authors do that. And plus, you realize that Evelyn is a Gregory too, you know. And seriously, Josephine, you stupid bitch. And, like, we find out that, like, this is what reminds me of Josephine from the Gods and Monster series by Kelly Keaton, because she wants Lilith to come to her, just like Josephine wanted Athena to come for Ari. It's like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, plus, you have no leads on Lilith, and you don't take Evelyn's theory seriously. The one person who's been hunting Lilith for fucking years, you don't take her seriously? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? So, I don't know. Josephine is just stupid. So, as soon as Violet gets back to her room, there was a note from Raynor saying that she was on the approved list to visit Nyla and that she'd be honored to be Violet's mentor. It's like, yay, we got a mentor! And Raynor is one top cookie. She's got to be up at 5 a.m. like every day. Oh, fuck. I don't think I could train with Raynor. And I was so happy. Zoe is the voice of reason, even though evil for destroying Spence. I love what she said. She said, the question I have is this. You said when you and Lincoln heal each other, it makes you both stronger, rejuvenates you, whatever, right? Then wouldn't it make more sense that the two of you were at your strongest together when you were finding it so hard to pull yourselves off each other rather than exhausted at your weakest, like you said? Thank you! Like, seriously! Violet, you use that advice and go to Lincoln and make him yours. That's what you do with that advice. Because, like, Violet's like, what do I do with this advice? That's what you do. Go make Lincoln your man, damn it. Go do that shit. And, like, I did not understand why Josephine has it out for Violet, because why the Commune Arceus would you put her in the intermediate class? Like, and not in the advanced class with Zoe and Spence. Well, even though Morgan learned a lot from her, but what the fuck? And seriously, honor my ass, Valerie. Like, because Valerie was bitching about illegal moves, and I love what Violet said to her. She's like, in my experience, exiles aren't so much concerned with honor, well, maybe with the exception of Phoenix, as they are with ripping off my head. If it's them or me, or if I'm trying to defend a human, I'll make any move I can to put them down and contemplate what kind of person that makes me afterwards. Yes! I love it! I love it! I love it! And then Valerie was such a bitch afterwards. She's like, that's one view. The other is that if you walk too close to the edge of the lines between the monsters and yourself can start to blur. You risk waking up one day to discover that you have become just the same as them. And it's like, ouch! Ouch! Ah! But at least Morgan appreciates Violet's kick-ass illegal moves, and she's learned more from Violet since Nihilus was teaching classes. So, what Raynor said, like, she met with Raynor after class, and she believes there's hope for Nyla, and if there wasn't, she would have killed her already. And Griffin agreed that, already agreed that Raynor would be the best person to be Violet's mentor. And I loved Raynor's winning argument that Valerie is all about rules and regulations to have the academy running. When Violet gets in front of the assembly, the only thing they're going to care about is winning, and Raynor will help her do it. I loved that argument. It was amazing. So training and classes were like from 5 a.m. I don't know how Violet's doing it. It's from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. And Lincoln has been bringing her meals at least, and, you know, their souls have been finding a happy medium. So they're not, like, destroying each other from the outside in. And, like, the one thing that's kind of bothering me is you would think Lincoln's declaration of love on the volcano would have bonded their souls, but it didn't. Go figure. So Raynor is literally kicking Violet's ass in gear through drills, extreme weights, and getting a can of whoop-ass to the face and every part of her body. Like, seriously, Violet is gonna die, I swear. And it's so sweet that Lincoln wants to rescue Violet, but it's only one more week. One more week of this shit. Um, so, according to Griff, Evelyn's no longer having fainting spells since the Academy gave her something to jumpstart her internal organs. So that's why Evelyn was having fainting spells at the beginning of the book. And after she came out of the volcano as well. They think it had something to do with her body adjusting to her earthly form. And Lincoln also said there have been more missing children and exiles of light and dark working together, and the Gregory scripture is the only thing that can do that. No sign of Lilith, though. And I just thought it was sweet that Lincoln said he's proud to be Violet's partner. I thought it was sweet. And according to Griffin, Dapper has found 9 of the ingredients and has some of his friends of the family keeping the ingredients safe. And the last 3 ingredients were proving to be hard to find, and the original source of one of the ingredients was extinct, and if they had to, they would use an inferior mutation of the herb, and Dapper still felt it was worth preserving. Seriously, go Dapper! Go Dapper! Dapper is awesome. And 13th ingredient will still be a bitch, though. And, oh man, like, Zoe and Spence are like the king and queen of shenanigans. So, even with training with Rainer was like in 6 hours, it was totally worth it. It was Mission Bridge. It was hashtag Mission Bridge. And I love Spence because they're sneaking out through the mission through the service elevator, and Spence is like, the service elevator is a rite of passage. It's like, yeah, they do this a lot. And the coolest thing ever, because now that Violet knows about the skywalk, when you look up at the skywalk, you could see a golden light, and Violet realized that Josephine put a halo over New York City, which is awesome. So Mission Bridge turned out to be a badass area under club scene under the Brooklyn Bridge. And I want to go, next time I go to New York, I'm totally gonna go find that area and see if it's truly like that, because I want to go party over there. And they go to this Gregory club called Ascension, and I want to go party there so bad. So I want to party with Gregory because they fucking know how to party. So they go in, and the mask the bouncer gave out turned Spence's hair. Poor Spence. He was like, at first it was orange, and he was like, anything but orange, and like everyone was laughing, and then the bouncer took pity on him and changed it to marine blue, and Zoe's was pink, and Violet's hair different colors, and in Violet's case, her hair was a foot longer as well as burgundy. Like, seriously, I want to go to a Gregory club. I really do. And the rules for the club are no powers, no forced identities, no fighting, and mask off only by choice, no photos, and no weapons. Yeah, so Ascension is basically New York's only, Gregory's only clubs. So, like, you guys are probably wondering why the masks. So, this is where Gregory are supposed to be able to let loose. And, oh boy, they do let loose. Gregory are stationed in the military or within the government, and don't want their identity to be common knowledge. Otherwise, others are members of the Rogue, too. And the clubs don't check any ID, which is pretty sweet. And Lincoln is in the private rooms doing commie knows what, because they're saying that there's really, like, one of the girls was implying something that was happening up there. No! Something sneaky. And they are busted. Oh fuck! So Spence and Zoe and Violet, just run, and like Spence is like, well, fuck, I'm sober now. So they run, and they get an oh shit text from Lincoln, and they spot Oliver. So they have to so they're tailing Oliver, and they found that they see Oliver going into a building, and he came back out with a boy in blue pajamas in his arms, resting on his shoulders with a little blood trickling from the side of his mouth. Well, we know, so basically he obviously knocked the kid out. And well, we know the exiles are using the Gregory scripture, so Zoe went to check the rest of the family. So Violet and Spence tailed Oliver by cab. I love that Spence is like, follow that cab, and And Violet's like, I think you've always wanted to say that. And Spence is like, every man's dream. Oh, Spence, I love him. He's like, he is like the best. This is why I want him to be my best friend. Uh, sorry, like seriously, sorry, Link, like because Link is texting Violet, and seriously, sorry, Link. Violet and Spence have to be Gregory and save the future Gregory, and Spence is like, that's what it's what we do, and I love it. Spence's signature, I love Spence's signature line. Never a dull moment with you, Eden. That is Spence's signature line. Never a dull moment with you, Eden. And so they go off to City Hall. So basically, Oliver glamored himself as a city guard, so hall guard, so no one can stop him. Oh, and no one can see the kid. And they go basically through the manhole because Spence remembered that there's unused subway station. So they go uh, and through Violet's Amethyst Mist, they actually find the Exiles underground tunnel network that goes throughout New York City, and it's right underneath the Academy's nose. Yes, this is something that the Academy shouldn't find out from Violet and Spence, because otherwise they'd be in enough trouble. And at another abandoned subway station, Oliver was meeting with Phoenix, and the boy was pissed that Oliver hit the kid. And Violet can feel the hatred as if it was a poison for Oliver and himself. And it's like, oh, poor Phoenix. But Connie and Arceus Phoenix, like seriously, you did this to yourself. And Oliver basically said to Phoenix, well, fuck you. I only answer to Lilith. And now Phoenix, you got the fuck off. And that resulted in Phoenix going for the neck. And yes, with Exiles, you gotta remember, it's always the fucking neck. And probably your death sentence, since he knows Violet is there. And Phoenix took the child and said Lilith wants to move the schedule up, and gave out the location of the next abduction, which is 79th in Lexington. Well, this could probably be a goodbye to you, Oliver. You're gonna probably die. I was surprised Oliver didn't die because he's a fucking coward. But and yeah, all Lincoln, too bad. Violet and Spence are coming. They already know that they're busted anyway. And I love what Violet said. She's like, what the hell? It's not like we could get in any more trouble. And Spence is like, so true. It's an outlook I often take in life. I love Spence. So Griffin and Lincoln got there before Oliver, so they were able to move the mother and daughter to a safe house. And Raynor came with the car to take them to said safe house. And like, she had a look of disappointment on her face too when she saw Violet. And I was like, dude, you should be happy that Violet did something. Shit. And apparently Oliver as I said, Oliver ran away like a coward, according to Griffin. And this confirms that Evelyn is right and Lilith is collecting future Gregory kids for a mass execution. So now they're going back to Ascension, and I'm surprised there's no verbal attack from Lincoln. So what the fuck? Why is there no verbal attack from Lincoln? And he put Violet's hand on his lap, and as soon as the kid was mentioned in the text messages, he understood. Like, good, glad we're on the same page, Lincoln. And the final text after Violet wrote about going after the kid, Lincoln responded, "Be careful." It's like, aww, this is so Lincoln. He's so sweet. That's why I want him. Now you guys understand. He understands. So basically, the deal with this Ascension was the only Gregory place that the Assembly didn't have control. So, and the private rooms were soundproof and free from prying eyes. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, damn, Raynor shows no mercy. And yeah, she follows the way of the pajamas with katanas. Yeah, she was pissed about last night. So Raynor says that Violet's strongest with the dagger, then the katana / sword, and then barehanded, but Violet is still holding back. And Raynor, I liked what Raynor said about Nyla and Rudy, because this is really important. They said they were much more powerful than they ever let others see, always worried it could endanger them. If the strongest among us could see their potential as powerful than they ever let others see, always worried it could endanger them if the strongest among us could see their potential. As bonded soulmates, their union meant they could draw on one another's power when they needed to. They transformed from two good fighters to one incredible warrior. If they'd wanted, they could have had Will and my seats at the assembly, but they refused. And Rayner, I liked what Rayner said on Violet and Lincoln too. Violet and Lincoln, she said Rudyard and Nyla were nowhere nearly as powerful individually as you and Lincoln. Not even close. So fucking A, Violet. Just take Lincoln, go into his room, have your way with him. Just do it. And, okay, I think, where am I at? I'm at the halfway point. Okay, I think this will be a good thing. I'm going to stop here, and we'll pick up... yeah. I can go a little longer. Why not? So, next is, so Violet went to go visit Evelyn and her dad in prison, and it looked more like an apartment since it had, it had a kitchen, it had beds, and a bathroom for privacy, and just a barrier made it prison, and it's charged by Gregory power, according to the guard. And they had like a family makeup session, and it's so sweet. So basically, after healing Evelyn, which was pretty cool and shocking, and recapping the situation, so basically Evelyn says that Lilith is continuing where she left off. Also, that Lilith is probably at one of her bigger estates off the Hudson, which is within an hour's drive from Manhattan, and Lilith has a weakness for water, and she likes to be close to it in case she needs to make a quick escape. So Jonathan and Evelyn followed Lilith around the world, but eventually she came to America and took a shine to the area. Basically old money and lots of it. And Lilith is a sick fucking twisted motherfucker, because she took pleasure in annihilating and destroying their lineage by dirtying their reputations. Sounds like Frieza in a weird way, but yeah. She would pick the best estates along the Hudson, putting entire towns under strong illusions to ensure that family disappearances were never investigated, and she drove many of them to their own gruesome suicides. It was horrible. It sounds like a TV show that Frieza would watch. But Lilith took so much pleasure in the destruction that instead of fleeing, she stole their fortunes and their houses, keeping them as trophies. But now there would be many that are well hidden that she would still believe to be be her rightful spoils. And Violet explains that Griffin says the Academy is going to prepare to launch an attack as soon as they find a location, and with this info that it will narrow it down. But Evelyn said that Lilith is going to expect this and be ready for it, and well, no shit. And even the thing is, Violet, Evelyn knows this shit. Evelyn even agrees with the soulmate theory, and Violet, your dad needs to shut the fuck up. The very fact that he, Lochmet, basically, selected your soulmate to be your partner, there is always a reason. But it is their reason, and don't ever forget it. Free will is yours until you choose to relinquish it. That you are soulmates may be their choice, but whether you but whether you make the bond is yours. And yeah, of course he would have of course Dad would have an opinion on this. And they gave them the look. I would do it too. Seriously, just go, Violet, go make Lincoln, have your way with Lincoln. Just do it. Please. Just do it. So the assembly, and I love it that all is forgiven, and that Evelyn, I'm just glad that Evelyn wouldn't redo any of the other decisions, but we don't know if, the only thing we don't know, though, is if Lilith dies, that Evelyn would die. Keep your fingers crossed, people. I don't think she will, but she doesn't, though, so thank God. But that's the thing, you would think that she would because of their life forces being tied, but I think it has something to do with what happens later on. So basically, Violet is the first now we're getting to the good shit. So the Assembly is in denial that 60 future... I don't fucking understand. The Assembly is like our fucking government. So they're in denial that 60 future Gregory kids from all over the world have been kidnapped by Lilith. And this is according to the intel gathered by Lincoln and Griff. And Josephine and Drenson are even questioning Griffin's loyalties. Which, Griffin, why didn't you use your power of truth? Why? Why? Ugh. So Violet is the first Gregory in over 3 centuries where the entire assembly will be present. And Seth and Decima deem little things worthy to sit in their chair for 150 years. And Raina and her partner are usually in London, but with the situation with Nyla, that's why she's there. Okay, now I'm gonna stop because we're gonna stop at Violet's testing. So I want to know what you guys think so far because the shit with the Academy is just fucked up and corrupt. And I want to know what you guys think about Onyx and Dapper because we're like where I'm at right now, the halfway point is just insane. And I want to know what you guys think about Evelyn, the other characters' development too, especially Evelyn. And what do you guys think about Josephine and how shit is being run and the strategy she has and like like is it just me or is there an oxymoron going on here with her logic because she's supposed to defend humans but she has like this anti-human thing going on. That's what I didn't understand. So I'm curious what you guys think, and I want to know what you guys think of the book up until this point. And when I come back, when I do part two, I'm gonna uh, start off with Violet's testing, and hopefully, because I'm gonna make my videos longer, that I will be able to do the end. I just want to make sure that I cover all the mythology, and I want to know what you guys think of what um, about Evelyn's past too, especially how she killed Lilith and shit. And other thing I wanted to ask you too, what do you guys think about Dapper? The revelation with Dapper. I thought it was badass that he's descended from the first patriarch and that he's like the ultimate book nerd again. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Keep on reading book, and also remember to keep on reading Book Nerd again.